there, everyone. Welcome back to How to College First Gen. For those that are new to the podcast, we're dedicated to helping first generation students navigate the college journey through narratives that highlight the experiences of current high school students, college students, graduates, and even parents, really to help us all figure out the craziness that is college. So, for long-time listeners, you're right. You haven't heard this voice before, and that's because I'm one of the new co hosts. So, my name is Adnan Karim, and much like the other hosts, I too am a first generation college student. I graduated back in 2017 from the University of Houston with a degree in chemical engineering. My parents moved to the United States from India back in the late 80s, early 90s. And really, my mother shaped me into who I am today. She worked and still works as a preschool teacher, supporting our family, and loves kids, and really shaped my journey and my passion for school and wanting to succeed and get a degree. Similar to a lot of first generation students, my path in school, especially college, was not linear. It involved a lot of twists and turns, self discovery, getting help from others, sleepless nights, really just trying to figure out what the heck I was doing with my life. Because, my parents, my mother, they didn't know what how college was here in the US. So a lot of it was just me figuring it out on my own and with the help of others. But, I did walk across the stage. It took me 5 years, but I got my degree and I got a chance to sit down and hear the commencement speech, which that day was Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the speech he gave still sits in my mind till this day. He talked about the concept of a self-made man slash woman, but just for inclusivity, we'll say individual. It's also easier to say. So the concept of a self-made individual really resonated with me growing up. It was a great concept, right? What's better, the story of rags to riches, someone pulling themselves up from their bootstraps and just really succeeding. But listening to Arnold's speech, I realized that my perspective needed a little bit of shifting. I realized that the concept of a self made individual didn't really exist. A lot of times it's great for us to say, it's us against the world. But I realized that me sitting on the stage required the help and support of a lot of people behind me. Guardian angels like countless advisors, countless mentors, upperclassmen, family members that all helped me on this college journey. And without them, I would have definitely not succeeded. So for me, sitting in that moment and thinking that it was a self-made moment was kind of selfish on my end, and that really shifted my perspective. So here I was in 2017 graduating, and needing to join the workforce, so I did. So I ended up joining as a chemical engineer at Shell Chemical here in Houston. And much like being a first gen college student, I guess you could say I'm also a first gen professional here in the US. Navigating the professional world is something that no one in my family had done. And for me, it was all about figuring it out on my own, just like being in college. So I joined Shell and I worked there for 6 months, and I realized I hated it. I hated working um, in an office building. I like being outside. I like being in the field, and I just wasn't happy. But I didn't have a support system to rely on because I couldn't just call my mom or dad and say, hey, what do I do? My mom's a teacher, and my dad at the time wasn't working, was retired. So much like in college, I had to rely on an army and tribe of mentors and individuals to really help me get through that period in my life. So fast forward, I'm able to get through it. I ended up leaving Shell and joining Dow Chemical as a full-time engineer. So I've been at Dow now for 5 years, and I love working at Dow. And much like my college career, my professional journey has not been linear. So now my title is a commercial manager, and I joined Dow as an engineer. So you could see that went. But much like, I keep on going back to this concept of a self-made individual. Nothing in my professional journey was self-made. It took a lot of mentors, a lot of, you know, countless nights for me to figure out, hey, I didn't want to do engineering anymore. I wanted to do something different with my career. I wanted to go more into the commercial space. So that's that's how I kind of ended up here as a commercial manager. But kind of circling back to the original point, being a first generation college student and even a professional is something that I've walked. It's shoes that I've walked in my entire life, and I definitely understand the plight and the toughness it takes to really figure out what you want to do in your life, continually figure that out, and walk on that journey with other people. So really, you know, as a new host to this podcast, my journey and my passion is to highlight the narratives of these guardian angels who help guide us through these journeys, the mentors, the the current high school students, the college students, the upperclassmen. I really want to help tell these stories that help folks like me, you know, little Adnan back in the day, get through the moments that make us. So with that, I really hope to bring you guys a lot of interesting, eye-opening content to help us all get through this journey of being a first generation college student. Thanks.